Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because, well, we're unpacking something that literally shapes almost every single outcome in your life. The core premise we're looking at is actually really simple, but it is profound. The absolute fastest, best, and most thorough way to level up your life is to level up your communication. We're going to break down some seriously fascinating insights from Myron Golden on how our words literally construct our reality. Let's get right into it. So, when I say the word communication, what is the very first thing that comes to your mind? Probably just talking to other people, right? That's what we all tend to think. But we really need to challenge that basic assumption. You see, talking to others is only the tiny tip of the iceberg of this massive architecture that shapes our reality. As you'll see in a minute, true communication happens in multiple directions, and the actual words coming out of your mouth, they're just a really small fraction of the whole equation. Here is our quick roadmap for today. We're covering number 1, beyond just talking. 2, fixing internal communication. 3, connecting up and out. 4, communicating with AI. And finally, 5, 2 steps to level up. All right, part 1, beyond just talking and the trap of verbal laziness. You know, we often accidentally sabotage ourselves with just lazy habits. Take mumbling, for example. Mumbling is essentially a non-committed verbal expression, right? People mumble because they just don't want to enunciate clearly, because if they are perfectly clear, well, they might actually have to take real responsibility for what they're saying. And on the flip side, we have profanity. Now, people often think profanity adds emphasis or power, but what it actually emphasizes is a total lack of clarity. Think about it like this. An expletive is definitely not a light bulb moment. It's not a true exclamation of a brilliant thought. It's honestly just a placeholder that obscures what you actually mean. Using negative words or profanity on rinse and repeat is just a glaring demonstration of verbal laziness. If we truly paused and thought about the massive negative impact these non-adjectives had on our lives and our mental clarity, we simply wouldn't use them. No way. Let's apply this exact same logic to our actions. Trying versus doing. Honestly, the word try should cause a visceral, almost physical reaction in you. There is literally no such thing as trying to do something. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. Now, sure, when you do it, it might not produce the exact result you expected, but you didn't try, you did it. Completely eliminating the dangerously negative word try from your vocabulary forces you to take direct ownership of your actions. It's a total game changer. Moving on to part 2, fixing internal communication. This right here is the foundation of the whole shebang. I want you to think about this for a second and be really honest. Would you be friends with someone who talks to you the exact same way you talk to yourself? I mean, if you had a friend who constantly called you stupid, an idiot, or a loser, which, let's face it, is exactly what so many of us do in our own internal monologues, you would absolutely cut them out of your life immediately. Yet, for some reason, we tolerate this severe verbal abuse from ourselves on a daily basis. We have to become hyper-intentional about our thoughts. To really understand this, we have to look at what these internal thoughts actually build. Drawing from Tony Robbins' philosophy, a belief is simply a story you tell yourself about an expected outcome. It's just a story. The problem is, most people tell themselves highly unfavorable stories, and then they're somehow surprised when they get undesirable outcomes. If you can just get better at crafting the stories you tell yourself, your expectations literally become your greatest superpower. See, when we tell ourselves bad stories, we get anxiety. And what is anxiety? It's just the feeling you get when you are expecting an unfavorable outcome. This completely redefines procrastination. Seriously, nobody actually has a procrastination problem. Procrastination is just a symptom of anxiety. You are putting things off simply because your internal story fully expects a bad result. To really grasp this, think about a wobbly chair. If you walk up to a chair and you immediately notice one of the legs is loose and wobbly, you're obviously not going to sit down in it. Why? Because your expectation, your internal story, is that the chair won't hold you. Your subconscious mind simply won't let you put your full weight down in a scenario that feels unstable. This actually leads to a fantastic story from the source material about the fear of flying. The speaker used to be absolutely terrified of getting into a 250,000-pound metal tube flying at 500 miles per hour. Because his internal story told him it just didn't make physical sense, he had immense, crippling anxiety. Even while he was strapped into his seat high up in the sky, he said he never, quote, put all his weight down. His subconscious was basically treating the airplane exactly like a wobbly chair. So how do you actually fix it? Well, you change the story to change the belief. The speaker literally went out and took flying lessons. He learned the true aerodynamics of planes. He actually learned that they are designed to fly so incredibly well that they can fly empty in a hurricane. By educating himself, he completely changed his internal story, which changed his belief and entirely eliminated his anxiety. He went from being terrified to literally co-piloting a jet plane. Now that is the absolute power of internal communication. Okay, let's look at part 3, connecting up and out. This is all about vertical and horizontal communication. Let's look at vertical communication first. For those who pray, there is often a massive misconception here. Prayer isn't just talking to God to try and convince Him to do your thing. It's actually about tuning your own internal frequency so you can align with and do His thing. When you make that simple, subtle shift in your vertical communication, it completely changes the game. Now, moving outward to horizontal communication. Have you ever seen a totally brilliant creator fail to sell a great idea? It happens all the time. It's usually because they try to force a stiff, mechanical transaction. To truly succeed with other people, your communication has to focus on the organic transformation that you are offering to them. People want growth, they don't just want a transaction. You absolutely must focus on them before the interaction even starts. Whether it's, finding a mate, raising your children, getting a job, or acquiring business partners, your ability to verbalize what they get out of engaging with you strictly determines your success. You have to figure out how making it all about them actually benefits them. And here's the kicker. You have to do this before you ever even open your mouth. Bringing us to part 4, communicating with AI. This is the wild new frontier. Right now, your ability to leverage AI isn't about being some sort of computer genius. It's entirely dependent on your ability to communicate. You must define your exact desired outcomes. And when the AI gives you a response, you don't just blindly accept it. You have to constantly challenge the outputs with better, clearer articulation. Make no mistake, your ability to communicate with AI will strictly determine whether this technology takes you along for the ride or leaves you completely in the dust. Finally, part 5. 2 steps to level up. Let's make this totally actionable for you. It all really boils down to this. Number 1, read more well-written books. You absolutely need to consume good ideas to build a better vocabulary and craft better internal stories. And number 2, write more. You need to actively process all those great ideas you're consuming. But wait, there is a super crucial caveat to step 2. Actually, scratch that. It's not just about writing more. It's about writing what you thought about what you read. When a book or an explainer or an intelligent conversation really resonates with you, do not just copy down what the author said. That's just taking dictation. Write down the unique thoughts that their words triggered inside your own mind. That right there is how you synthesize information and create lasting, unique value that will level up your life forever. Which brings us to a final, slightly provocative question to leave you with today. What story will you tell yourself today? Because remember, the story dictates your beliefs dictate your expectations, and your expectations, they become your reality. Will you choose verbal laziness, or will you actively step up and level up your life? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we will see you next time.